Rashad, why you didn't
Anyways,
hit me up?
Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
brother, I love you, brother.
What's up, Rashad? What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.
Yesterday we did the video on Julie Van Loo, her statement after getting cut, and she said, "I flew 18 hours after the EuroLeague championship to come back to Golden State, and what they did, they cut me." So Natalie Nasake, Nikase, the head coach, excuse me, of the Golden State Valkyries. My bad, I got a little brain freeze there. She talked about the timing of waiving Julie Van Loo as she landed in San Francisco. She said, from our perspective, thought it was respectful because whenever you have a situation like this, you bring them in as an adult and you say thanks face to face. Someone else said, this is absurd. No one wants to fly from Europe to America just to be fired to their face. A phone call would have sufficed. Let me watch this.
May have heard being in the Bay Area when it happened and I skip down the parade. Was that something that you guys knew coming in, like when the decision was made at all?
No, I mean, again, I'm going to let our front office speak about that, but from my perspective, I would say that was respectful because whenever a situation like that happens, you bring them in, and as an adult, you say things to face. I think that was out of respect.
So she said, I think you bring them in and you say thank you face to face. And she say that's out of respect. My question to y'all on that is, do you want to when you get dumped, do you want to be dumped over the phone or do you want to be dumped in person? Because I remember, like, it used to be a thing when cell phones became like a real thing. It was like, you broke up with me over text. You broke up with me over the phone. You didn't even have the decency to tell me in person. And I think about it. And I think about a situation like this where Julie flew 18 hours from Europe all the way to the West Coast of America to get fired. I think about that, right? And I'm like, dang, is there a situation where it's actually appropriate? Because it's like, say, you're together with the person, right? And you're getting dumped. They call you and say, come over. Like, we have to talk, right? If we got to come over and talk, like, so I got to spend gas money, my time, my energy to get over to your crib. And I say, hey, what we doing? What are we hanging out? I have no idea what's coming. And you say, sit down. I'm breaking it off with you. Bruh, like, I just spent all my gas, my time, you could have did this over a phone call. I could have grieved. You know what I'm saying? I could have hung up the phone, cried a little bit, called my homie, said be outside. I don't know. I could have did all of this without the gas money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Hold on. Okay. All right. So SSB said it depends. If I'm down the street, then just do it in person. But if I'm on the other side of the world, then just do it by phone. But I think it's more professional. It might be more professional over the phone. I feel like in a situation like that, like an 18-hour flight, just do it over the phone, bro. But like regardless, but yeah. He said, yeah, this situation would have been better over the phone. But right, in a breakup, say you guys live on two separate parts of town. Like, so the person lives like 45 minutes away from you, 50 minutes away from you. You really want that person to drive 50 minutes and be like, yeah, I just thought this was better to do over person. Bro, that's 2 hours. That's 1 hour driving to your place and then 1 hour driving back just for you to dump me, dog. Like, imagine if we had plans. Like, we had plans to meet up on Friday, and then you were like, okay, on Friday when we meet up and have our date, before we even do anything, when they come and they think they just picking me up, or they come and they think we just about to sit down and watch movies or Love Island or whatever. Yeah, I have gotten fired. Well, I got laid off. I got laid off my first job out of college. It was 11 months in. It was at a newspaper in Douglas County, Georgia, in Douglasville, Georgia. It was 40 minutes west of Atlanta. I was working as a news reporter over there. I was a crime and city beat reporter for the city of Douglasville. And so it was a Friday, and I was in the office, and it was like the end of the day. The publisher came in. The publisher rarely comes in. He probably comes in like once a week, once a month. So the publisher came in, and he's working in his office. and he's only there for like 15 minutes, so he was literally just there to fire me. And they were like, so Ron, I mean, oops, I didn't mean to say no names. So then my editor, he's called, like, he goes into the office with the publisher, and they're there for like maybe 2 to 5 minutes, and then the editor comes out and he's kind of like serious, and he's like, Rashad, can you come on meet us for a second? I'm thinking they're gonna say like, Rashad, we need you to tighten up, or like, good job on this, like you're making a lot of progress. And they were just like, I don't even remember the conversation, to be honest. I blacked out, but they were like, yeah, we got to let you go. We got to cut positions. Um, I'm sorry, you were making progress. You were doing better, but this is just a decision we made. It wasn't like performance based. It was, we just had to make cuts and this and that, blah, 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 to keep things going. I was just like, dang. All right. So then I went to my desk to get my stuff. And then they followed me to my desk. And then they followed me out of the office. And then I had to give them my key. And then they just watched me. And I just sat in the parking lot for a while, just kind of shocked. I was calling people. And I called one of my homies, and one of my homies was like, yo, I'm actually like putting in my 2 weeks over here because I'm burnt out. It's in sports. I said, oh, I'm trying to go to sports. So I did the drove in for the job interview. Was in Alabama. Drove in for the job interview. I got fired on Friday, laid off on Friday. Had my job interview like the next week on Wednesday, and I was hired by the end of the next week. And then I moved to Alabama like the week after that. So within a week and a half, I had a new job in a new state, and that's how that went down. But yeah, it was weird because like being escorted out and everything, but that's how it happened. It happened in person. It happened in person on a Friday at the end of the day. So they like waited to the last. They like wrung out as much stories and content and labor they could out of me for the last time, for the last pay period and stuff like that. That's how they did it. And it was sour or whatever, but it was an eye opener to how the industry works, and how the world is and stuff like that. Like, this is real. Like, you could lose your job at any point as long as you work for somebody else, and just be prepared for it. And I don't know, just be flexible, bro. Just be prepared for the unknown and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what happened. The next time I was followed out of somewhere was at Jackson State. At Jackson State football practice, they kicked me out. The former coach there, if former football coach over there, he kicked me out of practice, and the security guard followed me to my car. I was like, "Why are you following me to my car?" He's like, "Cause you were a reporter." It's like, bro, that didn't even make sense. But they like followed me to my car like I was like I don't know, a criminal or something like that. I was getting arrested. It was weird. SSB said I got fired at my sales job, but it wasn't performance based. So what was it? Was it did you get laid off or you got fired? You said you got fired, but did you get laid off or fired? And did you get fired in person, or was it like over the phone? Or if it was the 2020s, did you get fired over Zoom? Because I know a lot of people, they be getting fired over Zoom now, which is, I think, crazy. It's like, yeah, I called you into this Teams meeting to fire you or to let you go. We didn't like the numbers and blah 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 blah. I think that stuff is always weird. It's a weird thing. But I think, me personally, just like what I would prefer, if it was a breakup and we live like more than 20 minutes away from each other, don't have me come to your house, bro. If anything, if you're gonna break up with me, do me the solid and save me the gas money and come to my house and break up with me over there. You know what I'm saying? And say, all right, bye. Like, do that. Home court advantage. You know what I mean? Don't have me drive to you to tell me that you're breaking up with me. All right, SSB said this. The boss conduct was not good. He was messy, and I worked for like a month. I called him out and he got pissed. Oh, so you was talking back. Nah, they don't like that. You challenge them folks, nah, they gonna get you out of here now. I got fired and 3 people quit the same day. Yeah, that just sounds like a toxic situation. It sounds like a job that people didn't even really want, anyways. It sounds like a job people didn't even really want, anyways. So it was like you was gonna
You should ask.
you was gonna leave one or two ways. You was gonna get out of there after a long time, after a little short time. You were going to quit, just period, or or they was gonna let you go. There was no other way out of that situation. Uh, so then Kenzo, shout out to Kenzo, the Valkyries beat reporter. He said he asked about Caitlin Chen's play over the last 2 weeks and if it factored into the decision to cut Julie Vanloo. She said, like I said, we went 5-2. We were really competitive, so I'm definitely not looking at that, if that makes sense. He said I was 19 and we were vibing. Oh yeah. I ain't gonna lie. Like as a kid, I feel like anything pre-college grad, like pre-bachelor's degree or pre-associate's degree, anything before 21, 22. I say anything before like 22, it don't really count for real. Like you like you said, you vibing, you working. It's like I worked how old was I when I don't know if Mo's still on, because Mo used to work at Vector too, but we was working at Vector. I made a whole video about it with the Kev on stage thing. I was probably, I don't know how old, 17. I was 17 working at Vector, bro, selling them knives, marketing and stuff like that. I don't really look like that, don't really count to me, to be honest, bro. Oh, you was basically one of the guys at the mall selling the phones. Those dudes be mad cool, bro. Like they have them in Walmart. There was this dude selling the AT&T plan or whatever. When I first moved out here, my latest stop and stuff like that, and we had a good conversation. And he was just a cool dude, and I felt bad because it was just like, I'm very happy at where I'm at. I'm with T-Mobile, by the way, Kyson, if you're watching this. And I was like, I'm with T-Mobile. I'm happy with them. I'm happy with the bill. And he was like, well, all right, bro. I said, hey, I'll be around, so you'll probably see me again. And it was just evident, bro was just trying to put food on the table, bro. So like, that's a tough job, bro. Them sales jobs when you be in the middle of the mall or something like that, like, hey man, can I interest you? Like, if people try to be avoiding making eye contact with you like a homeless person all day, like, and it's like the flat rate that you get paid isn't enough, base pay isn't enough. You got to get some commission. Sales is difficult. Sales is difficult, man. But I feel like you need experience in sales because sales is what you use in every aspect of life. Everything sells, bro. Literally everything is sales. Big Nate, what's happening? We're talking about sales right now, bro. We talking about working in sales. We talking about getting fired. Big Nate, I got a question for you, bro. If you getting dumped, right? Do you want to get dumped in person, or is it cool to get dumped over the phone? Me personally, I say if you live on the other side of town, if you live like 45, 30 minutes away, just call me, bro. I'm not about to use my gas money to drive to your crib for you to dump me, bro. Like, that's crazy. So what you think? Let me know. Let me know. But yeah, this came about talking about Julie Vanloo riding 18 hours on a plane to get fired, to get cut from the Golden State Valkyries.
Ask her that. That's a question for Caitlin, but I guess I know she worked out while she was gone, so that's a player who is a pro. She stayed ready when her name was called. Obviously, like I said, any of them could have just said, "Look, I quit," but none of them quit. They all got in better shape. They all paid attention to our games, and like, we're 5-2 with 5 of our players gone. So again, credit to them and a credit to our team.
Did Caitlin's play over the last 2 weeks factor into letting Julie go?
I mean, like I said, we went 5-2. We're really competitive.
Oh, so she said yes. That's sick. That's crazy.
So I'm definitely not looking at that. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Dang. All right, here we go. Nate said, I've been dumped over the phone. I agree with you. I'm not wasting my gas just to be told I'm done with you. And then he said, yeah, so you with me on that. Here's the thing. Natalie is saying that because management told her to tell him that. Yeah. It's yeah, I don't know. It's just nasty business, bro. That's nasty business, dog. Like a player going over 18 hours and then you like, oh, we just want to, be mature about it. Tell you face to face, we owe you the professionalism. Nah, you ain't got to do no We could have did this over FaceTime, twin. Like I'm celebrating a championship in Europe. I'm with my people. I'm in my home country. Everybody at the parade. I got to leave the parade early to go back to my job, and you just firing me. It's like, dang, I couldn't get the 2 extra days back in my hometown to do the little parade with the people I know, everything like that back home. Shoot, if I was at a parade and you call me, you FaceTime me, oh yeah, we're cutting you. Oh, all right, bet. I'm hanging up. I'm going on a float with some champagne. It is what it is, bro. I ain't worried about that. So it's like, yeah, that was totally a party pooper, like just a whack thing. I'm back to Caitlin Clark, bro.
Rashad, why you
Anyway,
didn't hit me up?
Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
Brother, I love you, brother.
What's up, Rashad? What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.